Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. 12 games in the NBA here on Wednesday night. So it's Nate and Josh here bringing you guys some best bets. Also got some player props in here for you, bringing both of these to you in one episode moving forward. So definitely make sure to subscribe to that channel and don't miss any of the action each and every weekday this NBA season. Let's go ahead and get into some best bets here, Nate. Talking about the Pellies, talking about the Blazers. I love the Blazers. Do not love the Pellies. You like an under in this one.
Yeah, and the value is evaporating on this because it opened at 234.5. It's now 229 in most places. So maybe we are looking at Josh with the angle of the Blazers just winning and covering the 8. But there's definitely metrics to indicate that we're going to have a slower game, that we're going to have a lower scoring game because the Pelicans offense is just doo-doo. And it revolves around Trey Murphy, who's really going to get the full Tamani Kamara matchup in this one. You got a pissed off Blazers team that lost at the buzzer on Monday, stays on the road, probably going to be locking up. The Blazers have played an elite schedule. They have played one team that isn't like a playoff team all year. And now they just get this dumpster fire, I think you could call it, in terms of, the offense without Zion has dropped to 94 points per game in 2 home games without Zion, 94 pace. They are 4th worst in true shooting, assist rate, offensive rating. And the thing is with Poole and Zion out, we're looking at 8 points better on the defensive rating without Poole, 7 points better without Zion. So you just get more dogs out there defensively for NOLA. At home, they probably are going to be more competitive and not giving up that 130 number that you would worry about with an over. And the Blazers, yeah, like I said, they played a lot of elite teams. Now it's kind of slowing down. They're at a 101 pace in their last 5, but if you remove the Miami game, which is a 113 pace, they're only at a 98 pace in their last 4. That game also skewed their whole fast break points allowed, which was top 10 before the Miami game. And they're elite guarding the 3-point line. Their really only vulnerability is the free throw advantage. The Pelicans aren't getting to the line that much. They're also a road team under last year, 55% and 75% to the under on a rest disadvantage. So if you count their close game as being more taxing than the Pelicans just getting blown out once again.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the way to play the total in any way here. And I was like, well, the Pelicans ain't coming along for the ride if I'm trying to take an over just based on Portland playing with pace. And like Portland, I really just want them to win. And that's really where I'm at. Like when I try to figure out what they're going to do, 107 points per game at home in 3 games for the Pellies, but they're averaging like 107. They're the worst. They're bottom 4 at almost everything. So there's not much that I could tell you here. Like, well, the Pellies might have an edge here because they get free throws. They don't. Maybe they like rebound really well. They don't. They're bottom 3. They don't limit assists. They don't limit anything, man. And that's been the case. Basically, yeah, since last season. And it really doesn't make a difference if like Eve Missy's on the court. Poor Herb Jones is a name we don't talk about anymore because he's a really, really awesome defender and hustle player and glue guy on a team that doesn't even have anybody to glue together. So what's he, he's just sort of lost essentially at that point. For the Blazers, yeah, I think this is like they're still on the road and they're probably not very happy that they lost to the Magic in such fashion. And I would think that this is the time to take advantage. It's the Western Conference here, a familiar foe. Like what the Blazers are doing well is what we know that they just improved on last year, right? They're still really good at the paint, limiting stuff inside at the rim specifically as well with Kling Kong, and even the few minutes here and there that Rob Will has touched the floor. And then they're just one of the best wing defensive teams in the league. Trey Murphy, if he's the engine of this team, is going to need to take more than like 14 shots. I'm so disappointed in Trey Murphy this season. And it's not even because I've lost bets on him. I've actually won one bet on him, and it was one game that he did shoot like more than 14 times. But I just don't know when that's going to happen. And they're losing consistently going into the end of the third quarter. Then yeah, everybody else is just going to keep getting minutes. Who's the young guys for this team? So not much else to say, man. I agree with everything you said about the under being a better play. I just think that the Blazers win this one easily.
Yeah, it's possible they both cover this number and it goes under because the Pelicans don't get to 100 again, or they don't get to their team total of 108. Yeah. So yeah, we're basically saying the same thing here. You got a rookie point guard too going up against Drew Holiday with no real backup ball handling, so that's another problem. Denver's on a back-to-back, so nice bargain shopping here. -2.5. We got it some places. You got 3.5 other places against a Clippers team that now resembles that doo-doo logo that we've got up there from the 90s when Michael Olowokandi was the centerpiece. Clippers are awful, man. They're just awful,
Bad.
putrid. Without Kawhi Leonard, these last four, 26th in defensive rating, net rating, 25th in rebounding rate, 26th scoring paint points. And dead last in fast break points. So you're going to go against this Denver defense in the half court. I'm not even that worried if Jamal and or Aaron Gordon sit because Denver is deep now. They are number one in bench offensive rating and net rating. The Clippers bench has the third worst defensive rating. And, with Brad Beal out, maybe that's a little better. I mean, it's just they're just full of old and slow guys. And on offense, you have Harden ball and nothing else really. I mean, they're not even getting many dimes with Harden out there. They lost the assist battle 30-19 in their last game. Opponents are shooting 43% from three in these last five. I don't know how much of it is just like the vibes are low, but like home court advantage has not even been a thing like it was last year for the Clips. And the Nuggets are the second best team in the NBA. I think we can say pretty consistently here. They also Jokic doesn't really take back-to-backs off. Therefore they're 22-8 straight up on back-to-backs the last 3 years. That's probably the best in the league straight up, right? 73% on your back-to-backs in that span. And they also don't play again until Saturday. So it's not a situation where they need to like turn around quickly and they have a bigger game or an NBA Cup game on Friday. They can just go ahead and take care of business here and then rest up.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice when you can just send Jokic out there with a band of merry men on the second night of a back-to-back and beat up on some bad teams. But they should be relatively healthy going into this one, the way that they played the Kings last night. So I think they're still pretty good to go. The only thing that would ever scare me is like the Clippers get up for games where the other team is good. They pick their spots, that type of thing. But it has not been the case here, even in the last four. Like you said, it's been pretty gross for the Clippers, and things look kind of bad as like, I don't know, Jeff Van Gundy started to moves up the ranks as a potential guy. I don't want to start the drama, but I'm just saying like Ty Lue might just not even want to deal with it, much less like, him getting fired. It's more like, I don't know if he just want to keep going with this charade that we keep seeing here because Kawhi in and out of the lineup isn't helpful. John Collins is getting like 25 minutes a game. It seems like it's one of those things where Ty Lue's just like, he doesn't go up hard enough he doesn't hedge hard enough or something like that we can't understand.
And they won't play Bogey at all. Like Bogey would really help tonight. I would be on him. Yeah, but he's just not even in.
And the Bogey Chris Dunn lineups work. It's like they're two guys that can facilitate, two guys that you trust with the ball in their hands. One's really, really good at defense. One's horrible, but at least they sort of make up a decent backcourt right there, and they're not getting time together. But far be it from me. I don't know more than Ty Lue. I definitely don't want to presume to know more than him. So if he doesn't like John Collins, fine. I agree with you, Ty Lue. But Cleveland is going to be trotting out backups who are really good. So I'm taking them to win the first quarter here. Plus 130, better than that for them to just have more points at the end of the quarter of the first quarter. That's it. So one plus 1.5 is the spread. You want to take that, fine. This is like me playing pop psychologist, right? And I do have some numbers to support guys like Jared Allen, DeAndre Hunter, Sam Merrill, Lonzo Ball. If you throw Dean Wade or Larry Nance in there alongside that squad, you've got a good squad here. We're talking about a total of 13 minutes with the squad I just said. 153.8 offensive rating, 92 net rating. Obviously, totally ridiculous because it's like 13 minutes of basketball. My point is they are good, and that's part of my proof of it. And I can also show you all of their stats that show you that they are good, man. So this is just like human nature to me, which is the Heat just came back against the Cavs in that game, won it. Obviously, initially had to come back. Then they were winning. Then Donnie hits a crazy three. They go to OT. Then they have that oop at the end to win the game, right? Like that was a really awesome game. There was 278 points scored in it. And now you're coming back to the exact same building 2 days later. And across the way is not Donovan Mitchell or Evan Mobley or Darius Garland. Across the way is Sam Merrill, Lonzo Ball, Dean Wade, Larry Nance, and then obviously Jared Allen probably gets like 34 minutes in this game, right, as the lone real big, alongside, like I said, potentially Nance. I think he's still questionable, but definitely Dean Wade. So like you don't have that many bigs. DeAndre Hunter's flexible, but they're going to come out firing, man. Like if you're Sam Merrill, Lonzo Ball, and like DeAndre Hunter, you're like rearing to go. You're not happy that you lost that game. it's now your time to step up. You know you're getting disrespected. Not even really too much in the market because it's 5.5 for the game right here. That's not telling that your three best players are out. That's not a spread that indicates that against a team that you just lost to by 2, right? Like there's respect going their way, and I'm taking it in the first quarter because I think they come out, punch them in the mouth, pissed, and maybe the Heat come back with it and definitely bring it, and they still should be favored, especially at home. But I'm still going to like the Cavs to give them a real shot here as guys who are coming in not deflated after the loss, but really reared up to go.
Yeah, it's an interesting angle. I mean, I think there's been so much buying of the under with these names out too that we're down like 8-9 points now, and I know there's some familiarity having played him immediately again after 2 nights ago, but maybe first half over. Like, yeah, like you're saying, these Cavs guys they can get the ball in the bucket. I mean, Lonzo's going to push the pace. These teams are first and second in base. Sam Merrill is going to be gunning. Like there's plenty of offense to go around here. So whether you want to bet it like a team total, I mean, we didn't actually put Jaquez in the player props, but he's just kind of a de facto, like still too low, still 15 points. Norman Powell still around 20. Norman Powell's a walking 20. So yeah, if you want to just play it that way too, this should still be a good game to target for offense because the Cavs are they're a system, they're a machine.
Yeah.
Player props though, I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is not playing tonight, even though it's not a back-to-back. They have back-to-back Friday and Saturday against Charlotte, that being in the NBA Cup. I think it makes sense. He looked so tired at the end of that Dallas game, barely pulled it out. I think it makes sense to sit him. And he's always questionable with the knee. So if you want to get ahead of it, Cole Anthony is a guy who goes from like totally tertiary bench scorer who still is gunning when he gets out there into like a little bit more of a reliable rotation guy, right? I mean, Ryan Rollins, Kyle Kuzma will also be looks there. I think Kuzma, who they refuse to put props up, probably because the books think that Giannis is going to sit, and Kuzma would be a huge swing there in the starting lineup, rebounds wise. He would make a big difference in terms of what he's projected for. But Cole, I mean, we all remember the Rollins game when Giannis sat. I mean, he goes for 32 and 8 in a revenge spot against the Warriors. Cole also had 16 points in 21 minutes on 36% usage with no Giannis available that night. Now we're talking about the Charlotte Hornets instead of the Warriors. I mean, Charlotte is 25th in defensive rating the last 4. Terrible 3-point defense, dead last in allowing shots at the rim. And I think Cole will get a little more Trey Mann, who they're forced to play with no LaMelo. He's not starting, right? But then you get the backup matchup. And Trey Mann, 125 defensive rating the last 3. He's out there for offense. Cole can absolutely take him to the rim. He also has more potential assists per game than Ryan Rollins in 10 fewer minutes per game in the last few. And his usage rate is sky high. It's 30% in the last 3. So even though he's not getting like the 36 minutes, he's scoring 18 per 36. He projected for around this 10-point number. So even if he gets, like 20, 25 minutes, if he gets a little boost with Giannis out, I think he can get double digits.
Yeah, I'm good with it too. I mean, I don't mind the assists for Cole as well in this game. Like the touches, the usage, everything, like you said, should definitely like push a lot of Giannis's usage towards him as far as like the ball in his hands, on ball facilitation as a result. But he'll have the option to score or to facilitate. And 9.5 is probably still too low. I made some money betting on Cole for sure. I just also have gotten burned trying to like be cute with it and figure it out. I think 9.5 points is a safe play. And honestly, like the PA screams to me as like the best play, but I once again don't have like strong proof to give you that in any way with an angle of any kind. But this is too low. This is too low if Josh Giddey plays, and Josh Giddey's questionable, so this is keeping it low. Great. Like this is one of those where it's like, I don't have to wait for the news. I love this at 14.5. If this goes up to like 16.5, let's say, if Giddey does go down, I kind of like that too. So I'm obviously happy to take 14.5. I think there's a legitimate like 20 plus case here for Io in this matchup. Like you're not getting the Pistons full rotation here. I don't think Cade and Jalen Duren are now going to play. We already had Oscar Thompson, Tobias Harris, Ivy, Sasser. Key one being obviously Oscar. Oh, by the way, Beef Stew, top 10 defensive field goal percentage at the rim. Big time defender for them. Not going to be in, doubtful. So we'll assume he's not playing as well. like the team that is ranked fourth in defensive rating with like limiting teams to the fewest assists per game, limiting teams to like a bottom 5 rate in terms of rebounding. That Detroit Pistons team isn't playing today. So I love this spot. I always love taking people to go up against Chicago. You're going to keep going fast, going to give up a lot of stuff in terms of assists, going to give up everything inside the paint that you want. So there's buckets to be had on both sides, and Iowa's the perfect player for that. Like he should be at high 20s if Giddey plays because of the way that this Chicago Bulls team is currently constructed without Kobe White and without Zach Collins as well. So like Iowa's already in there for 27 to 28. If Giddey's out, he's in there for 33 to 34. And I still think he could get up to 30 with Giddey is my point. So 14.5 is just silly. He's still averaging 17.5 points per game without Kobe White since last season. Kobe White ain't playing. So this is just too low in a high scoring, fast paced game.
Yeah, I think this is a Bulls spot too. Like you mentioned, all those Pistons guys out. Bulls have lost 4 or 5. Everybody's saying, "Oh, you're pretenders." Pistons, they're gonna punt a game. Like at this point, like it's you go to overtime with the Wizards on a back to back. You got the Cup on Friday against Philly. Bulls are off for 4 days after this. They don't play again until Sunday. So
Crazy.
yeah, it is an unload the chamber game for the Bulls, and I think they're gonna have several guys with success there. Hopefully, Giddey plays.
Yeah.
This team is also going to roll. They are hosting the Washington Wizards. The Houston Rockets are they're minus 16.5, and that probably means a little more tick for guys off the bench. Maybe you want to take the Reed Shepherd experience to continue here. I like Tari Eason to just be that hammer off the bench, coming off a little bit of a deflated game against the Bucks. He only got 19 minutes, still had 14 points and rebounds. So, and we saw big minutes on Sunday there for KD Şengün and Steven Adams in that double big lineup. I don't think they're going to be going double big very much against Washington. I don't know how much they're going to, how much Şengün is even going to play against Washington. It's just going to be a cakewalk. And in 4 double-digit wins this year, Eason is averaging 16 points per game. And then you add on 5.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists in just 25 minutes per game too. So it's not even like I'm projecting a huge uptick. I'm just saying he's going to be productive while he's out there. He's productive on the break. His 3-point shot is much improved. His playmaking is much improved. And Washington, of course, allows it all. The second most fast break points and paint points. They also allow the most steals to small forwards and most rebounds and assists. So Eason might be starting the break on his own, might just be dunking in transition, doing all the things that you expect from a bad Washington Wizards team that is on the road.
Yeah, for sure. I like that everyone's available for Houston, so that he comes off the bench in this game and guaranteed to come off the bench and guaranteed to be. I mean, he's their 6th man anyway at this point, so I don't know. I haven't actually checked if he started when like Amon's out, or I don't think Jabari ended up missing games, even though he's been questionable a bunch. So like I do think he's going to come off the bench no matter what. Great, which is wonderful for this because like he can just go to town versus the second unit. In addition to probably maybe getting a few extra minutes here. I don't think like if they empty the benches, he's not going to be out there. I think Reed Shepherd is still a good look because I think he'll be out there he's getting high 20s in games that are close right now because they do need some 3-point shooting, they've realized, and he's become less of a liability everywhere else. So I do like Reed Shepherd tonight. I think his stuff is still going to be priced reasonably well for somebody who's going to get a bit of an uptick because of this game. But yeah, Tari's still going to be a great look, especially the player type that he is. The matchup really calls for it. So the aforementioned Bulls and Pistons game, I got 2 plays in there from this one because I do like Ron Holland in this one. He got 24 minutes last game, and that was a little bit weird in a game where nobody is available against the Wizards like we saw, and then the Rooks are playing over him right at the end of the game as well. So I mean, it makes sense. Like they were bad against Washington, and like he was bad, and obviously he had like 4 fouls. Clearly got in trouble with Biggerstaff. So like, yeah, he didn't necessarily deserve it, but that doesn't mean he's not going to come back in a game where I don't think Cade is playing. He's your best on ball guy at this point in terms of somewhat facilitation, but mostly just like guy with the ball in his hands that you trust to go score, a la like Shaedon Sharpe, basically. Like that's who his game reminds me of in that sense, like athletic dude, long, really long, and can play forward, but he will have the ball in his hands a ton. So I think the points, he's looking for the points. You could go for PRA because I do think the volume will stay high. I think he'll get to that 30-minute mark in this one. He will be starting. Cade played in that last game, dropped the 46 on the Wizards. But now, like we said, doesn't make sense for him and Duren to play. They weren't seen at shoot around today. So in addition to like everybody else being out and Ron Holland already being a starter, I think he'll also be the 1A scorer for this squad. And like a 20 plus look here, 25 plus might be a nice way to play him as well.
Yeah, somebody's got to put the ball in the basket. And the Bulls will let you just walk to the rim. This dude is very athletic going to the basket, so makes sense. One more leftover, I think, is Cooper Flag, 6.5 rebounds plus money. Like if Anthony Davis doesn't play, that is an absolute lot like smash. I mean, I if AD plays, he's probably still good for the boards. Like Phoenix playing a little bit over their head offensively. They have a very good rebounding rate. They limit assists. That's why. And I eventually got scared off that play because Dylan Brooks could, say like, all right, Rook, come like get this physicality. But Coop is coming on, man. And at least the rebounds, I think, are safe here in this matchup.
Yeah, they should be. I don't know about the Dylan Brooks matchup. I'm out on them for a bit on the Mavericks. Like I feel bad for Flag. He's getting the usage, man. He's getting a lot of it, but he's getting tough looks. Like he's shooting a very, very poor percentage, being asked to do a lot. Rebounds would be a way to go where it's like, you don't have to I'm not asking you to do much here. It's hustle plays. You're tall. You're going to be, in a position to probably be taller than the guy that's guarding you, etc. So I'm still with it. And I don't have any respect for Phoenix, but
did
I'm
you
out on
watch
that.
him play Giannis to a draw for
Beautiful.
26 points? Like
Awesome.
he was struggling. Like here comes the rookie curve though.
So yeah, you're taking the uptick for the Rook here after to building off some momentum from the last game, which I'm with. But that is all the time we have for you in this one. Definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll be back here with Thursday's NBA slate as well, each and every weekday moving forward. So until we see you next, happy betting.